Hello, it is I, once again. I had a semi-clean outfit, and that's kind of almost rare, so I decided I might as well make a video before I resume my sweats and hoodie season. Let's see. How are you guys? It's been a long time since yesterday, and we talked yesterday. So obviously, I'm on track with my little book because it also gives me a chance to freestyle and talk a little bit. Right now we're in chapter 3. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I like this one. You might hate it though. Chapter 3 of ALX Proverbs is work hard. The reward is proportional to the price we pay. The great equalizer of the poor and the wealthy is work. The harder you work, the more likely you will achieve your success. If there's one thing that remains consistent or constant, it's this: nothing worth having comes easy. The journey to wealth, happiness, and success doesn't start with wishing on a star or waiting for a miracle. It starts with the sweat on your brow, the strength in your hands, and the fire in your heart. In a world where shortcuts and get rich quick schemes are constantly tempting us, the truth is simple and unwavering. Work is the key. In the previous chapters, we've explored the foundation of growth, the decision to commit to personal development, and the decision to seek a better life. We have talked about acknowledging the gap, understanding the need for growth, and starting the journey even when the path feels uncertain. But now it's time to face the hard truth. You're not going to get anywhere without putting in the work. I don't need to elaborate on that. One more paragraph. I'll keep this video short. For a change, that'd be kind of cool. The reward is proportional to the price we pay. This principle doesn't just apply to money, it applies to everything. The harder you work, the more likely you are to achieve your success. There's no magic formula, just raw, unfiltered truth that the road to greatness is paved with effort, sacrifice, and grit. It's a lot of reading. Thanks for watching. So, and what is success, right? Is success having 6 figures or 7 figures or $1 billion for some of you guys? I think one of the things that we do talk further, dive into the topic of, is success is achieving a goal of any choosing, right? So at the moment in the book, as a man, I talk about chasing wealth and chasing success in a professional career, egotistical driven type of thing where it's measured with money and pride and longevity of impact. But some people could be successful or strive to be successful in their relationships. Some people could strive to be successful in their leadership in the church. Some people could try to be successful in their recovery. So, which I guess in this scheme, it's all encompassing, right? So this self-development, self-growth, self-love it's not personal health or get money at all costs, including personal health. It's how do we balance both, and knowing that whether I make $90,000 a year or $101,000 a year, it technically doesn't make a difference that much, right? So if I were making $50,000 a year versus $250,000 a year. That's a pretty significant job. That would be something to be excited for. But if we're still in below average, below middle class, $60,000, and I got a raise to $68,000, and I'm all of a sudden got my chest puffed out and shit because I don't I don't paid my dues somewhere for something, right? So that in itself kind of feels like success. Um, but if we were to zoom out, yes, okay, you got a raise, but is your personal health doing pretty good? Are your relationships doing pretty good? How are your kids doing? How are your just other interests, right? So if we were to cut out half of the bullshit, half of the stuff that distracts us, we find out that not only does progress in a few specific self identified directions feels good, but um, like it feels like 60% of human interaction, human behavior, human um, tendencies nowadays are just completely made up, right? Out of nowhere, we've decided that we needed social media and these devices and cameras and Wi-Fi's and all of that in order for us to survive. Somehow we're highly addicted to sugar, to processed foods, to whatever, right? So these are new things that we've realized we needed. Whereas before, um, you just needed to um, learn how to roll a wheel or make fire in order to be the man, right? So if you could make fire back in the day, man, you could pull some ladies. Now you got to do a lot more, and all of that. So, or yeah, or you could be successful with I guess it falls into the relationships. Unless you're trying to be a player, then it's like it's a different game. It's a strategy, and then yeah, it's distracting. That's for sure. So that in itself is actually, if I were to not focus on money, focus on a couple personal achievement type of things, it would be easy to be distracted by pleasure, aka beautiful women, good music, good food, good alcohol, good drugs, just a good time. But instead, I chose to talk about things like work hard because I enjoyed seeing some of my hobbies turn lucrative, if that makes sense. Well, it's actually the simplest terms I can give you is I was doing stuff for free, and then at some point people started paying me to do stuff. So, I mean, not playing guitar in a band professionally, but I'm I don't know. I consider this car industry that I'm in as as my hobby because I technically do it for myself on the side in my spare time, um, for enjoyment and fulfillment I get from fixing cars. So, and that in itself, with skill, I've strived for my own versions of success as far as having a good looking resume, as far as having some good, well rounded skill levels in my car industry, right? I wanted to be able to make fiberglass kits. I wanted to be able to work with classic cars. I want to be able to knock out a couple commercial vans or semi trucks, and then also do a a brand new BMW back to factory pre-collision state, right? I didn't want to pursue the mechanical because that in itself, in order to be a master mechanic, some people dedicate 10, 20 years into that field alone, and there still has a lot of nuances. Whereas the body side, I needed to learn my chemicals, I needed to learn how the metal how the metal functions, hold form, shrinks or expands, and how to shape it and blah blah, how to paint it, how to make sure that it looks level. So, which kind of falls into the artistic side of things. And then my inner artist was like, "Oh, we're sculpting shit, right? We're sculpting some good-looking cars back to original shape." And if I can see it, I can put enough filler into it to make sure that it looks like it. And then with skill, I got better, right? So the goal was to see something in here and then make it into a real thing. And that's still um, a thing that I'm working on. And then I will have my own checkpoints of success and or feeling successful or achievements in order for me to feel thrilled and check off a couple things off in that pursuit. At some point, I'll want to be successful with my family life, with my marriage, with my kids, with my friendships and stuff. Just enough to have a healthy, strong, tight knit unit that we can build together with, right? So that was enough. I read a little, I talked a little, and then now the video's over.